your path and another person's path are two different things. When we compare two different things in life, we will inevitably be so disappointed. You're the one who's supposed to end those cycles. You're the one who's supposed to create the shift. But the path that somebody else is on, they may not be the person who's supposed to do those things. And no matter where you are, you have this intrinsic value, and that despite your path, you can tap into that knowing. Allow days and days, weeks, maybe months, maybe years to pass by where we're never truly present, where we're never truly grateful for what we have, where we're never truly experiencing life to the fullest, because our focus and our eyes are only on the path that other people are on. It's not fair on yourself. It doesn't even make sense. It's a math equation that doesn't even add up. We can't do this. So let's talk about the true cause and the true reason, first of all, why we even do this, that this thing that creates so much unhappiness in our life and so much dissatisfaction, and something that we know deep down already will inevitably cause us to feel disappointed and to spiral in a way that isn't necessary. And the reason we do it is very much to do with our egos, and the fact that the ego hates the feeling of shame. The ego always wants to control when it's tapped into, when the destructive side of our ego is tapped into. It wants to control situations, and we think by comparing and by telling ourselves that we must be at a certain place by a certain time, or we must be where this person is because they've made it and we haven't. We're trying to control, and this control is to prevent, like I said, feelings of shame. It's trying to make sure that we're at a certain level so that maybe we fit in better, or maybe we receive status, or maybe we receive something that we never received as a child, and we're trying to get that control now. So when we compare in this way, it stems from that ego, which is coming from insecurity, it's coming from lack, it's coming from misunderstandings of the truth, which the truth is that, first of all, you have intrinsic value, and that value is nothing to do with the place that you're currently at and the circumstances you're currently under. The destructive side of the ego that comes out also needs to realize that your path and another person's path are two different things. When we compare two different things in life, we will inevitably be so disappointed and so unhappy, because it's not physically possible to compare two things that are different and try to expect them to be the same. You can't expect your path to be the same as somebody else, and it's for a very good reason. Your path is different because you're supposed to experience different things. Maybe somebody else has gone on a path where they've achieved the thing that you want. Maybe they achieved that very easily. Maybe there was very little roadblocks on the way for them. But the reason you're experiencing those roadblocks and those pains and those setbacks is because you're supposed to. What if that person isn't supposed to grow in the specific areas that you're designed to grow in, and that growth is going to bring you to a place that you could have never imagined in the past, could have made you to be a person that you've always dreamed of being, but until you experience the setbacks that you're currently experiencing, you would have never become that person. And I myself try to work on this continuously, but certain areas my destructive ego will come up and show up, and so I have to remind myself of these things. And I really struggled recently. It really showed up for me. It really, I was constantly starting to compare and starting to question and feel really dissatisfied in my life. It can bring you down, like I said, this really terrible spiral. And I remembered that I go through a lot of challenges in my life, but I go through these challenges because I'm supposed to grow from these challenges. Maybe somebody else, maybe a friend, maybe a family member, whoever it may be, it isn't in God's plan for them to grow in that area. Sometimes we look around at people and we see people that are very stagnant and are not growing whatsoever and have zero desire to grow because maybe they're not supposed to, and maybe you are, and maybe you were the one to break the generational, if you want to say curses, and you can call them curses. I prefer not to, because when we have the perspective of a curse, then we have this perspective that it can never be changed. But generational issues that have been passed on from the generations that have stayed the same, that have stayed stagnant, and maybe you're the one who's supposed to heal them. You're the one who's supposed to end those cycles. You're the one who's supposed to create the shift. But the path that somebody else is on, they may not be the person who's supposed to do those things. And the pains you're experiencing and the roadblocks you're experiencing and the setbacks are all creating this allowance for you to heal those things that you would have never healed before, to gain new perspectives, to develop self-worth, to develop an understanding that no matter what and no matter where you are, you have this intrinsic value, and that despite your path, you can tap into that knowing and tap into that understanding that you're worthy still, regardless of the path that you're on. And so this really ties back into the fact that you could be on this path to grow in a specific way, to gain a new perspective, but you could also be on this path because if you didn't go on it, you would have never appreciated the thing that you're trying to gain when you gain it. If we get things instantaneously in life, if we experience life that way, life would not be very satisfying whatsoever. Without the not necessarily work, but without the experiences that can come when we're trying to gain a new thing or do this new thing or become this kind of person, if we don't experience all the things that sometimes we must experience and we just received it, how dissatisfying would that be? How little we would appreciate the thing when we got it, because what was put into getting it? Absolutely nothing. Life comes with ups and downs, and the ups aren't just the good part of life. So the downs in life are what shape you, are what help you grow, are what help you become the person you're trying to be, are what causes you to have appreciation for the things that you finally get in life. Having downs is just as good as the up. Law of polarity says there's always one side to everything, and they're equivalent to each other. The good is always equivalent to the bad. The things that you're learning right now, the experiences that you're having, maybe the health issues you're having, maybe the family problems, maybe the financial problems. If you don't experience those things, there is something that's going to come out of them, this pain, come out of those roadblocks, come out of these experiences that may have never come through for you unless you had experienced this. Maybe from the person that you're going to help because of the experiences that you've had, the knowledge that you're going to gain, the appreciation, like I said, the experiences, the way that you're going to develop yourself, maybe for your future family, for your future partnership that you have, whatever it is, there's something that's going to come out of it. And when we do this comparison, we forget that we have good things in our life right now. We completely suppress them. We completely hyper focus on where we should be, and we live our day-to-day lives in that mentality, causing us to forget that life is good now. There are good things about life now, and we allow days and days, weeks, maybe months, maybe years to pass by where we're never truly present, where we're never truly grateful for what we have, where we're never truly experiencing life to the fullest, because our focus and our eyes are only on the path that other people are on, instead of remembering that we're on a path for a specific reason. That reason is for our good. If we were on that path, we would never gain what we are supposed to gain from the path that we are currently on. And there are beautiful things about our life right now that we could be immersing ourselves in, we could be enjoying, and that we could be learning from. So please shift your focus. Stop comparing yourself to something that's incomparable to you. Stop comparing somebody else's path to your path, because they're completely different things. Yes, they are paths. Yes, they are experiences, and we all have them. But just like we don't usually compare a dog to a cat because they're so different. Yes, they're both animals, they're in the same category, but they're so completely different from each other. And to expect a cat to be like a dog and a dog to be like a cat is just a completely unrealistic thing to expect. This is the same way we shouldn't compare our paths to other people, because we're not going to get things in the same way as other people, and we're not going to experience things in the same timeline as other people, because we're not supposed to. You need to see this as not something to feel shame for, but speak to yourself like, of course I have a different path to another person. Of course my life is going to be different. I have a different life. I have different things to experience. I have different gifts. I have different talents. I'm going to experience things faster than they're going to experience, and they're going to experience things faster than me, but it's nothing to compare. It's nothing to say that this is good and that this is bad. It's nothing to feel down about. It's just how life is, and life just shows up that way. Things don't show up the same way in your life as they do for other people, and it's for your good. It's for the things that you need to experience, the things that you need to learn, and the things that will cause you to be grateful for it when you do achieve it. It's nothing to feel shame for. So start looking at other people's paths and say, good for them, but also good for me. Good for me that I'm here right now and that I'm going to get there and that I'm experiencing all these things I need to know for such a beautiful blessing. I have no idea what it is yet, or maybe I do and I'll see it then, or maybe I can see it now, but good for them and good for me. There are people who have achieved really big things later on in their life. I just actually saw a video today of somebody who, or the woman who wrote Gilmore Girls, the book, I believe. I don't want to get this fact wrong. I know there are a lot of big Gilmore Girl fans, but she finished it, either the book or I don't know if it was for the show or the book. She finished it in her 80s. And what an accomplishment that is. But people think, oh, I'm in my 20s, I'm in my 30s, I'm in my 40s. I must do it now because everybody else is doing it now. No, would this woman have been able to write this content in her 20s? No, she would not have, because she needed to experience what she experienced in life first. But yes, there are people who write incredible things in their 20s and in their 30s and their 40s because they experienced it already. And of course, some people have more difficulties on their path, and some people have more ease, and it's what comes with life, and it's what comes with what we're supposed to experience and what we're supposed to learn from. But there is good to every single one of those experiences, even if on the outside in they look absolutely horrendous. Like I said, there is an equivalent amount of good to that situation and to what they're experiencing in life. So please, get rid of the shame, get rid of the comparison. And we often fall back into it. Like myself, I had fallen back into it really bad recently, and I had to remember this because of how much it was decreasing my quality of life. And that's why I feel so called to share it to you today, because it will decrease your quality of life, but it's a choice. It's a choice to see it as something that is bad. It's a choice to see it as something that you must do, you must compare in order to get there quicker. No, that's not true at all whatsoever. So yes, all right, I hope this helped you. I hope this gave you a kick in the butt to remember your path is not one to compare ever. And if you're going through a huge amount of pain, remember that that huge amount of pain is going to turn into an equivalent amount of beauty, amount of good, amount of blessing that's to come. Alrighty, I hope this helped you. I hope this snapped you out of comparing your path to others. It's not fair on yourself. It doesn't even make sense. It's a math equation that doesn't even add up. We can't do this. I hope this helped you. I really appreciate you guys. Please subscribe. I'm wanting to eventually do some live Q&As and just answer random questions. I think that would be really fun. That's something I would like to do in the future, and it would really help me if you subscribe to make that possible. So yes, thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye, guys.